I know they're not talking to me there. Sunday, May 1st, day 44. Coming out of another lazy zero from Boots Off Hostel. I feel much more refreshed. Legs feel good. And we're starting the morning off with a tranquil walk around Lake Watauga in Hampton, Tennessee. Sundays are always a sad day for me. That's usually the day back home when a week is behind you. Your Saturday chores of mowing and picking up sticks and bills and laundry and all that are behind you. And you can just kind of relax on a Sunday or just catch a ball game or even do some things that you just enjoy instead of that are chores, like work around the yard or house, but that's actually enjoyable. Anyway, it's Sunday and I always think about that. Everybody's home relaxing or doing things, but it's just like, I don't know. They say every day on the trail is Sunday. I don't know what I think. So, believe it or not, even though I'm going at a snail's pace, I'm less than 40 miles from Virginia. Presently, I have my staff looking at places to stay in Damascus that are not bunkhouses that offer me a sophisticated private stay with yet the freedom to have a couple beers without being scorned. And what I like about these towns, well, my favorite towns to stay in are the ones that you can walk everywhere by yourself without having to grab a shuttle, and gives you an opportunity to mix and mingle, be alone but among people, see different people. I don't know, I just like the vibe of being on my own. I guess one thing I'm learning on this trail is what I always knew, is that I'm an introvert. And I really enjoy my own independence and my own, it comes across as kind of selfish, I suppose, but like, I don't want to be in anybody's way more than me worried about them being in my way. In some instances, I just want to not bother anybody and kind of be by myself, kind of introversion. And they throw a couple beers in me and all of a sudden you might mistake me for an extrovert, but that's just because I'm an compensated introvert. Not to give you a Freudian fucking lesson here or anything like that, but I don't know. I almost really didn't even feel like talking this morning, but trying to keep from killing myself out here. It's like 9:30. I'm late start. Slept in my nice tiny cabin and had a couple cups of coffee, and they had complimentary. Oh, I had frosted mini wheats this morning with milk for the first time in like months. Oh my god, it was like a 5-star breakfast compared to. I did follow it up with a chocolate covered donut, which is more befitting the trail. Anyway, before I fall in a swampy mess or drop my phone in it. Geez, I hope I'm on the trail even. Been chit-chatting here. Alright. I'll give you some more views of this lake if they pop up. There's a certain smell when you're around a clean lake. For me, it's like a passing memory when you smell it, and you flash back to when you were a child and the Adirondacks or the Thousand Islands or Sebago, Maine, or a lake has a very distinct smell that reminds you of summer vacations, but it's not like a smell that you smell constantly. It comes and goes like a wooden Chris Croft boat on on a cold, deep lake. Chris Craft's, whatever the hell it's called. It's kind of like when I first moved to the ocean. You can smell it, and then pretty soon you don't even smell it anymore. Just kind of take it for granted, I guess, or your nostrils acclimate. But I just got that whiff. And I don't really feel like rushing today. I got 40 miles to Damascus. I'm probably going to turn it into a 3-day hike. I'm not going to push 220 miles. I'm just going to kind of go back to my old pace and just kind of see where I end up. But it is nice here. Nice, easy warm up. That's where I'd be if I was a largemouth bass. I got my Kelty rain cover that I bought for my external frame backpack, my Kelty 60 liter backpack that I abandoned for this granite gear. But I started out with the rain cover on. I'm not wearing any rain clothes. I figure at this rate, with how warm it is, if it starts pouring, everything will be dry in my bag and I'll just deal with wet skin unless it gets really cold, which I don't think it will today. But this Kelty rain cover, it covers the shit out of this bag. Pad, water bottles. It's a nice size, and it's got a string attachment with a cinch cord on the bottom. So I don't know if I talked about it before, but I did bring it along, and it fits over this entire pack nicely. And hopefully I stay out of the rain, but I just passed a couple that said I have until lunchtime. Kind of enjoying this morning walk. I wish all mornings started this way. Little few up and downs around this lake, but the footing's nice, it's tranquil. I mean, if every morning started like this, you know, it'd be a nice, peaceful warm up. But more often than not, you're climbing out of camp or out of a gap right away. Oh man, I'm going nuts now. I just heard a fish surface, a sizable one. If I had my pole, man, I'd be down that hill so fast your head would spin. Oh my God, old memories are coming back. What a beautiful morning for fishing. Low pressure system before a front comes through. The lake is smooth. The fish are jumping. These are the conditions I would love to. We used to take a little boat out on the lakes and troll a jitterbug. about, you know, however many yards behind the boat, kind of casually just chilling and following the shoreline, you know, moving in and out from the shore depending on the depth the fish are at. And on a morning or an evening just like this, man, that was a lot of fun. We used to haul a lot of bass that way, particularly smallmouth. Yeah, that was a lot more relaxing than this. An old quarry, or an existing quarry. Wonder what they mine down here. Or is it just some kind of backfill area they used to make this dam section? Could be, I don't know. If you know, comment below. "12 p.m. I'm 5.5 miles into my hike. Stopped a minute to make reservations in Damascus. Again, I stayed at Boots Off Hostel last night and the night before. Overall, a very pleasurable experience. Everything can be a little bit better, but as far as the place was concerned, it was very good. I stayed in a tiny cabin, showers and toilets. You know, you had a walk tube. It's fine. It's, you know, that's what you expect out here. Every now and then you'll come across a character at a hostel who kind of makes you uncomfortable. I won't get into that too much, but other than that, it was a very pleasurable experience. Having said that, and heading to Damascus and looking forward to a new state, I see that as a bit of an achievement. I'm staying at the Dancing Bear, wherein I'll have my own private room, my own private bath, my own private fridge and microwave, and I believe I'm right in town, so I'm free to come and go as I please, find a nice place where I choose the food, and maybe have a salad. I choose when I shop and resupply, and I'm not waiting for shuttles or a victim of what the place has to sell you, because some of these places, and I understand it, want to maintain business, and they kind of, this is an exaggeration, but you feel a little bit like a hostage. So I haven't had that freedom since Gatlinburg, where I can come and go to my room, bring back beer, sit in my room, walk to a restaurant, walk to resupply anytime I want, without the assistance of shuttles or a micromanaging landowner. So yeah, I hope that's a reality. So anyway, I'll be there in a couple days. I got 40 or so miles to hike here until I'm in Virginia, and I'm just kind of feeling low-key about it because I have plenty of time, not trying to push 20s and above to get there. So yeah, so last night before I go to bed, so I didn't have much of a breakfast. I found a donut that was left over from our complimentary breakfast. Coffee, all the coffee was good at Boots Off. I didn't want to take that shuttle again, and I had bought 2 Subway sandwiches the night before. Well, in the supply store, I bought a frozen pizza, had that for late lunch. And then I had my Subway sandwich, and right before bed, I bought those orange peanut butter crackers, a package of those. a little Debbie peanut butter wafer, a package of those, and finish it off with a Nutter Butter peanut butter sandwich cookie. I was craving the peanut butters as usual at night, and I've just been hungry all the time. But this morning I got that frosted mini wheats. Man, that hit the spot for some reason. A couple pieces of toast would have been nice with it, but a huge glazed donut, chocolate glazed, that was good too. So I'm feeling energized, I feel rested, I feel chill. And there might be rain coming, but right now I'm enjoying the fact that there isn't. Well, it's starting to rain and I heard thunder, so I'm gonna duck into this shelter for a quick lunch. I see somebody in there. I don't know what the hell's going on. Oh yeah, there's people here. Fuck me. Can't escape them.
Like maybe 45 minutes or so.
Alright. I guess I'll just eat all my food.
Yeah.
So we sat in that last shelter no more than a half hour. Gave me a chance to eat, and the rain passed over relatively quickly. I was very fortunate. Now I'm headed towards Iron Mountain Shelter, and I got all stiff again, even though it was only a half hour, so it takes me another half hour to warm up again. That might have been the last shot of Watauga Lake as I leave the area. A couple more climbs. So Iron Mountain will put me at 16 miles for the day, which is okay, but not crazy amount. I could probably push a little more, but there's nothing for a while after that. So we'll see what a couple hours brings. Ooh, had to throw off the backpack there quick. Nature called. Nature didn't just call, nature was screaming bloody murder. Whew. So I just, DoorDash is already in Damascus. Congrats to him. He left yesterday and did, yesterday he did 20 something. And today he must have done about that to get in Damascus. He's actually staying in the same room I'm going to be staying in. He says it's nice, which brings me comfort, and that you can walk everywhere, which brings me comfort. Actually looking forward to sleeping in the tent tonight. This 16 was relatively enjoyable for once. Little rain delay. I probably could have pushed 20 if I really wanted to, but that wasn't the plan, and I got 2.5 days to do what DoorDash did in 2, so I just decided on the days. Probably worked out well, because then they wouldn't have had a room. So all right, rain's going by. It's quite nice out. just something that occurred to me is I'm getting real close to Virginia, and that'll mean 3 states are behind me: Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. And it's always for me been a part of the whole trip for me has been like, let me get to Virginia. And even though I had some really rough times at the beginning and was frustrated with how hard the trail was and my injuries and 3 days that were ruined by a snowstorm and then a rainstorm, and in my mind it was, let me get to North Carolina, 100 miles, let me get to Clingman's Dome, let me get out of the Smokies. It was like always these steps that were like, okay, let me last a month. And but really in my mind, even though I was using those tricks as incentive to not bail out on this whole operation, because I'll be honest with you, it's not all like excitement for me, like with some of these kids. But really in the back of my mind, it was really always about getting to Virginia. 500 miles, Virginia, springtime, out of danger. And just walking the last few minutes, I was like, if I can do 500, then I can do the whole thing kind of feeling. It was like, and even if I only do 500, it's still like, I quit, but I could probably have done the whole thing if I hadn't lost interest. So I just wanted to mention that. It just kind of occurred to me that really it was always about getting to Virginia, because then I'd feel like the tough times were kind of behind me, and it was really about starting to settle in and being healthy and enjoying the trail. So we're almost there, so that's good. And another thing, when I was thinking about this, another thing that occurred to me was I was beating myself up in the Smokies probably more than I was suffering, because for me, this all started as like, how would you survive if you had to? How would you live off the land? How would you keep from freezing to death? So when I was in those moments, for 3 or 4 days, it wasn't like I was afraid I was going to die in those 3 or 4 days. I was beating myself up a little bit, because it was like, how would you sustain this? Where would you get the food? How would you stay warm? But the Appalachian Trail isn't about surviving. If it was, there'd be a lot of dead slack packers and ultralight packers, because they'd freeze to death. It just occurred to me that maybe I was being a little tough on myself, because I was taking the approach, man, I couldn't fucking live out here if I had to. Everything's barren. There's no greens to eat. There's hardly any animals. The snow comes and I'm only in an ultralight. Well, I'm in a double wall tent of some type. I'd freeze to death. I got Nike running leggings on, no wool. So, but it occurred to me, nobody out here is surviving. So a little celebratory moment there, that I feel pretty good that I'm getting close to Virginia, and I didn't really have to survive, but we might someday soon. Iron Mountain Shelter. Home for the night. Have a good night, boys and girls.